Fortnite's LEGO Survival has officially released, and there are countless secrets, Easter eggs, and things you need to know, with my favorite being found at the end of the rainbow. Yeah, there are rainbows in-game, and they're not just for decoration. If you ever wanted to follow one of them, it'll lead you to an incredible secret. At the very end, you'll find a rift encounter that spawns in a real-life LEGO set. Everyone is awesome. Not the only surprise appearance. We all assumed that the LEGO minifigures would be 1 or 2 collabs and the rest original. That is the case, sure, but then we logged in to find Mr. Beast as a LEGO figure. He's the only Icon series to have this exclusive style. But you'll be even luckier to find a llama on the map. There's a super rare chance that one appears, and once you crack them open, you'll be rewarded with high-level items, so make sure to always keep an eye out while exploring. Now, when you start the game, there's only a few prefabs to choose from, whether it's a basic shack or some walls. Well, as you upgrade your village and your crafting tables, you'll unlock more recipes, allowing you to place cabins from Lonely Lodge and the suburban houses from Pleasant Park. It gets even better with the medieval castle prefabs. These are taken from the Lion Knight's castle, which is a real LEGO set that's based on the iconic castles over the years. My favorite is the Shogun Village. Yeah, fans of Ninjago will know all about this one. Sadly, no Ninjago skins in the game yet, but let's be honest, it's only a matter of time. And here's a secret leak for you. Tilted Towers will be the next build to arrive, letting us place the iconic clock tower. And one of the coolest things you can do in LEGO Fortnite involves toys. These include thrusters, balloons, and more. So thanks to this, you can literally build a house on a platform, add toys to it, and use them to create a flying house. Carl and Ellie would be so proud. And Fortnite didn't just port over 1,200 skins for this mode, they also recreated entire emotes from scratch. My favorites include Make It Rain, where you throw down LEGO dollars instead of real money. Then we have Rock, Paper, Scissors, and of course, finger guns as bananas. I'm starting to think that every emote from now on will have a LEGO version. Every single cosmetic in the Battle Pass this season works across all modes, not just the skins, but the dances. The Diamond Throne has been recreated entirely using LEGO diamonds and tiny pieces, and if you redeem the secret Peely emote, this works too. In fact, every time you pick up the phone, a different call could be heard. Not the only reference to Peely. When LEGO Fortnite was first announced, they released a trailer with a secret Easter egg. The whole thing is a reference to the Jonesy short from Chapter 1, where he goes through a rift and transforms into, you guessed it, Peely. One of the most underrated secrets that no one's talking about is hiding in your decorations. Head to the Clutter tab, and you'll be able to place a ton of books to spice up your interior decorating. Except these have incredible names: The Adventures of John Jones, Real Stories of the Imagined Order, and the Looper Triology. I'm gonna assume that's a misspelling. So I guess LEGO Fortnite has some secret storyline we don't know about, and they write books based on the history. They also love to parody real life with Pride and Peelies and of minifigs and men. Now, I can't talk about these without bringing up the most important one though, the Colombo incident. I guess it describes exactly what happened to Colombo and how they went extinct. And it's not the only time Colombo will appear in LEGO. Leakers have discovered that the mailbox service in game is secretly named Colombo Mail, and they have a podcast named Bricky Mysteries. You're telling me he could talk? With confirmed seasonal updates for this mode, it's only a matter of time before he appears as an actual creature. I mean, they're just teasing too much here. Speaking of leaks, you can expect a new weapon to release in the future. There's a catapult in the works so you can wheel around, fire up builds, and a ton more. There's even an option to climb into it yourself and go flying, so I cannot wait for this to drop. Not the only thing dropping in either, because if you wait long enough in your game, you might just hear a familiar sound. Yes, that's a supply drop, and they work just like in Battle Royale. Once it lands, break it open, and it'll be filled with some useful resources that are pretty hard to come by. Very good to know. And for those of you still in the early stages of the game, I have a life-saving trick. If you place your build wrong and want to destroy it, don't use a tool to break it. These have super low durability, and their damage is tiny. If you just use your own hands, it does like 15 damage per hit. You'd expect an axe to break wood better than LEGO punches, but it is not true for early items. A secret that everyone loves involves the many NPCs around the map. They'll come to your village and ask to join, but if you decide to emote in front of them instead, it becomes a dance party real quick. Another fun fact about these guys, the senior writer at Epic has confirmed that villagers have around 50,000 lines of dialogue. You're gonna be talking to these guys forever. And if you take them exploring, you might just find a rift encounter. There's actually a bunch of these spawning all over your world, one of them being a Maui head. Obviously, we're pretty used to these guys in Battle Royale over the years, and now they're in LEGO too. And the cool objects don't stop there. There's even the possibility of running into a giant Durburger. burger. Considering Beef Boss can show up as an NPC, it isn't too surprising, and who knows, maybe some talented builder will make his restaurant in Lego form. Now, you might struggle to find all of these in one playthrough because the map is bigger than you could ever imagine. Every time you hit the edge, the new chunk just spawns in. While that feels like an infinite world, it's actually not. Eventually, you'll reach the ocean, which is just a limitless amount of water. Trust me, I kept flying over this to see what was at the end, and sadly, you just hit an invisible wall. On the bright side, you'll never reach here in survival mode because the world is just way too big for that. Thankfully, the enemies in here aren't exactly the brightest, so if you're stuck with a giant horde of skeletons, simply lead them into a line and steer them away from your location. The whole train will eventually lose interest, and you can loot places like caves and peas without having to swing a sword once. One thing this mode has is attention to detail. While playing, you can get a good look at your facial expressions, which change throughout the game. From sweating while running to seeing your breath in a snowy biome, and that's not all. If you find yourself in a hot climate, you could even see the heat wave effects on the horizon. Also, just because you're in a desert doesn't mean it's always hot. Epic added some realism in the game, with these biomes actually becoming freezing at night, just like real life. So if you're out adventuring, make sure you don't get stuck out in the sand after dark, or bring a spicy burger with you. The desert isn't all bad though, it's the only place you can find geysers. Just like in Battle Royale, these things occasionally shoot you up into the air, but since this is Lego, you'll just fall straight back down unless you have a glider. That's right, you can literally craft one of these like we saw in the live event, so when you fly up, you can deploy for great mobility. You can even move objects around. If you come across a giant boulder like this one, run up to it, and your figure could just push it. It seems pretty useless at first, until you realize it destroys anything in its path, making this perfect for defeating creatures or just farming resources. And I'm not exaggerating, it might be the greatest farming tool in the entire game. But if you prefer to hide from your enemies, then a bush is your best bet. Get spotted by a wolf, simply hop inside the leaves and he won't attack you, although he will stalk you until you leave. An even better trick is to get to the high ground. If you climb up a rock or building where they can't reach, they'll lose interest and just run away. If you're out of options though, you might find yourself on the respawn screen, but if you're wondering how you return, you'll respawn back in your bed through a rift. It's a pretty cool detail, but it definitely doesn't beat seeing your friend getting attacked only to hear the hilarious death sound. I wouldn't blame you for dying to the skeletons, because while some of them may be easy, just wait until you run into these guys. As you progress further away from spawn, enemies get more powerful, gaining items like medieval helmets and swords, so if you run into them, make sure you're geared up. So as you explore, keep an eye out for a tiny Easter egg. There is a chance that a Rift Butterfly will appear, you know, the one from the iconic live event, or the Cube Queen's trailer. Now it's in Lego, and once you follow it, this leads you to a chest. How cool is that? You might be so invested in this mode that you play it for hours, and I don't blame you, but be warned, there is a time limit to how long you can play. After a while, the servers will reset just like creative mode, booting you back to the lobby and forcing you to load up all over again. Don't worry though, your progress doesn't go anywhere, and once you complete that first session, you even get a reward. Heading back to the lobby, you'll be granted with a free music pack exclusive to Lego Fortnite. And the gifts just keep coming. Head to the item shop right now to find a quest pack for $0. This is the True Explorers bundle that includes a skin, back bling, and quests for XP. Of course, the skin works in Battle Royale and Lego Fortnite. Not the only way to level up either, there are quests available right now that give you battle pass levels instead of XP. Pretty insane, especially when you realize how easy they are to complete. For example, just place a crafting bench, enter a cave, get a village rating of 4, and create a sandbox world.